Welcome back to the vlog. Lots to show you. I want to review a book that I've been reading lately. Local guy, well worth a read. Look, it's 5 o'clock. We've just finished on the weekend opening. It's nearly dark. It's spitting of rain. It's mid-July. The wildflower strip that Sue and Roy and Jess put in, absolutely thriving. It's really looking great now. So the Fulcrum Centre's looking superb, but the sunshine isn't here to kind of sell it to you, to make people want to come out for sure. We have got some great caterpillars. So this plant here, not good if you like your horses. Look at that. Ragwort, real bad weed. But is it a weed? Because this species and many of them feed these beautiful cinnabar moth caterpillars, and they are feasting on it. Oh, look at this juicy one here. Hang on, let me turn you around, guys. Look at that. Absolutely feasting. And look at this one, they've stripped it. They've stripped this one completely bare, feasting away. So you might say, well, with those colours, Dave, those caterpillars, are they poisonous? Well, they are. God, I just can't get used to this new phone. I can't even see what I'm doing. What's going on? Just focus, will you? There we are. Are they poisonous? Yes, they are. Because the ragwort itself is a poisonous plant. Very inedible, toxic to horses, a bane of horse keepers' lives, ragwort. They take on board the toxins, they install it into their own bodies, makes them incredibly distasteful to birds and poisonous to eat. This whole bank of ragwort here, this is why it's so important to leave wild places and wild flowers in your garden. It looks, look, we buy money, we spend money on plants this colour and this prolific flowering. Here we are, beautiful flowers, and we're hosting a whole generation of the cinnabar moth. Beautiful, interesting caterpillars, even for your kids to play with, but don't let them eat them. What have you got? Let's have a look. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Don't squash him, gently. When you say caterpillar, oh, where's he gone? There he is. Put him back, yeah. You got him? Put him back, that's it. There's lots on there, isn't there? Let's have a look at him. Let me see him. Hold on. Keep you still. Hang on, let me see him. Oh, it's not looking. Let me have a look. Hold on. Wow. Well done. The sweet pea trellis that Sue's planted there, recycled on old gate, they're coming along. I don't believe it, but even here, the sunflowers are coming along too. One's flowering, God help it. I don't know if it'll ever see the sun, bless it. But it's all coming along. Summer's marching on. The only thing is, of course, it doesn't feel like summer. It's cold now and it's raining. So here we are. Things like the apples are, you know, growing on the trees. The conkers are growing on the trees. It kind of feels like it's all coming to an end. It's not even September, it's July. It feels like, you know, we're kind of winding down the summer, about like you feel like in September. More wildflowers here. Look at this, it's really thriving. Just shows what you can do with a bag of seeds. And down here, let's try not to get stung, but so far the bees have been great. Of course, what I haven't been doing is really filling their boots, because at the end of the day, how many insects have you seen? Hardly any in the UK. It's a glitch year for insects. Insects are on their knees. In my lifetime, they're down by about 50% by volume, by numbers. And we've got a glitch year where we had a start in the early spring. The orange tips were out. Things were looking good for insects. In fact, they were looking really good. And now it's been terrible. So the busy honeybees are busy. But of course, they're not as active as they could be if they were nice and warm all the time. there's not that much around nectar-wise, really. So they're doing well. Thanks to Graham for those bees. They're super chilled out bees, and to be honest, I haven't really worn much of the kit when I've been checking them out with Jackie. No sign of getting stung yet. They're really great guys. I'm not too bothered. Probably want to find out I'm allergic to them. Come on, guys, let's just have a look around. Let's just have a catch up. So I'll show you the snakes on the clip I took earlier. Again, the border looks great, but it kind of looked better if the sun was out, and that's just the way it is. It's all going okay though. Insects, guys, you really need to help them, because this country and the world is absolutely devastating them. You can make a difference in your garden. The insecticide in the general countryside is keeping them down. I've said this before, but if you put, there's not much out there snake wise. If you put a little strip around your crop fields to leave a home for wildlife, you get drift off those sprayers when you're spraying those crops for insecticides, and it's generally poor. So you can help them, but this year people are really panicking. They're really panicking about the collapse of the world and the world's ecosystem, because here in the UK there's hardly any insects. I'll show you another clip in a second from this morning, but it's really bad. But it's a bad year for weather. The reason we haven't got insects around is it's not because they've all gone, but our normal numbers that we're used to at this point in time, which is 50% less than when I was a kid, and probably 100% or 90% less than when your granddad was a kid. The reason they're not around is because of the weather. The cold, grey. It's just not been a good year for butterflies or any insects. A July evening, buddleias, all in flower. It should be brimming with the nested butterflies, those warmth-loving ones, the peacocks, the tortoiseshells, the red admirals, but it's not. Next year, I'm sure things will turn around. Gosh, can we have 2 grey summers on the trot? Anyway, let me tell you about a book that I've been reading. There's a meadow brown butterfly flying around, but again, mid-July, our buddleias are really coming on song. And oh, look at that. There is a nested butterfly there. We've got a red admiral actually feeding up there. Oh, and a hornet hoverfly. Only an hour ago we were saying, why is there not even one insect around? So pretty cool. Get these a lot here on the buddleia, on the Holdenby estate. A hornet hoverfly, quite a recent thing in this part of the country in the last sort of few years. A species moving more and more, oh come on, more and more northwards. So the coldest summer on record, but we've still got some snakes out first thing in the morning. They're such scaredy pants, 4-line snakes. They really are. Look at the size of that snake, and it's going to wander away at my presence. Got baby ones of these available, by the way. Look at that. Probably Europe's heaviest bodied, biggest snake when it comes to sort of overall largeness. That one's just getting ready to slough. And then up here, we've got blue beauty snake, and we've got a pair of, look at those, a pair of Russian rat snakes, all thriving. Even though it's quite a cold summer, it is actually 20 degrees behind that perspex in there. Aesculapian snakes are out. Just getting a little bit of warmth off the light, but there's no sun striking the glass or particular warmth at the moment. It's probably 16 degrees. It is crazy, really. It's middle of July. It's 11 o'clock in the morning now, so you know, I'd expect these guys to actually be hiding away, keeping cool, rather than hoping for a few more degrees. But they're looking great. So Steve Capel's book, I've known that guy since I was a schoolboy. He's older than me. He's a few years older than me. He was the first person I ever saw with lurchers. He had lurchers in an outdoor run. And I was fascinated by these dogs that looked like they could do stuff rather than a pet. And my first dog was a lurcher, and I think it's from first ever meeting Steve. He lived next door to a schoolboy friend of mine, and I've recently caught up with him in later life. I always see him in passing. He was a pest controller for many years, but caught up with him recently, and we're talking about our lives and getting older and the things we've seen in the countryside. And I said, I've wrote a book, but I still haven't got it published. He went, Dave, so have I. I've wrote a couple of good books, and I'm going to give you one. Get this book if you love the countryside. It's a personal to him. It tells you about his life in general and in the countryside and nature and the things that have vanished in our lifetime, and a look back at how things were when he was a young boy. Times have changed a lot in the countryside since then. Things that were common now aren't. You're going to love this book. It'll make you laugh for sure. It'll have you thinking. It will gain your interest, and it might even get you thinking about some country pursuits that you've never thought of. He did say to me, Dave, the dog bit really is towards the end. He said it will make you cry, just be aware, and it did. If you've got a dog, but especially a working dog, they really are. They weave themselves into your soul, and they're family. They're not really pets. So be prepared for a few tears, but you'll learn stuff about his old rabbiting pest control days with long nets and purse nets and ferrets. A bygone age when rabbits were super common. Unfortunately, disease, VHD in my lifetime has wiped them out, but they are making a comeback now in the UK, which is lovely to see. Probably not for the farmers, but you don't want everything to be gone. You just don't want plague proportions of these things. Definitely buy this book. It's probably more personal to me because it talks about places that I grew up. Now, it talks about places that were countryside when Steve was a boy, that my house was built on when I was a boy. So times change, but for sure, a really wholesome countryman's book, and I would definitely get there, buy it, read it. I'll send a link in the description. Well, it's been a long day. But yeah, if you're looking for a book to read, a reading book, non-fiction, but a storybook. I'm going to say it again, I don't like saying this. On a journey, someone's journey, about the stuff you're probably interested in, the countryside, and how things have changed, but also how we should still be enjoying it, partaking in it, getting away from all the rubbish, getting out in the countryside. So for me, you can imagine, it's a real book dear to my heart, with many of my own sort of philosophy and ethoses that this channel's about. So get yourself a copy and enjoy it. My little sticklebacks, look at that beautiful male. It's a British fish, for goodness sakes. Look at the colours on that. As colourful as any tropical fish, I reckon. Squawny little female there, there's a female. But the males, certainly beautiful. Used to be an animal that was everywhere in Northamptonshire where I grew up. But not so much now. Anyway, they're all hungry. I need to get these guys some food. So I always leave the main flush of self-heal and white clover here at the Falconry Centre. There's two big areas, and I leave them until they've gone over, mostly for the bumblebees, which are normally absolutely covering them. And of course this year there's hardly an insect to be seen, almost a waste of the flowers having nectar in them. We're at Global Bird Fair today. Morning. So if you like bird watching or wildlife adventures, some of these halls, every stand is someone from somewhere in the world that'll guide you in some of the best bird watching and wildlife adventures probably in the world. Literally anywhere in the world you can think of, you can book up with someone in here and have a guided experience, certainly if you like your photography. And it's vast. That's quite a bad video. There's a male and female viperine snake there, Natrix mora, and females gravid with eggs. I wonder if they'll succeed outside in a UK summer of this calibre. Probably not, but I'm going to leave them to it and just see what happens. We have got a pile of rotting vegetation there for the Natrix, big pile of grass clippings to provide heat and warmth, which I can always top up, but we'll see how they go. Feeding time now. Already seems intelligent in only the vultures can do. Even at that tiny age, so much about him already. Great things. Look at his crop. Greedy little sausage, and he still wants some more. Look at that. What a fluff ball he really is. Good girl. He's trying to eat the dog. He's so cute, isn't he? Look at that little baby, Jack, look at that little baby one in front of her.
You think that's a big swan? That's it, you can give one to the swan, that's it. And what about these ones coming over here? Are you going to bum up? Yay! What is that? A pig? You say, oh thank you, that's nice sharing, isn't it? Give the baby some. Oh wow, we like that big pig, didn't we? Huh? Hello, Ducky. Hello, Ducky. That's a swan. They're scaredy cats, aren't they, Lil?
There's people waiting to go though.
They're bigger than us, they're giddy.
Beautiful plant by the riversides of England, all the way from the Himalayas, and a massively invasive weed. It can spread so thickly along river courses that it actually chokes out native vegetation and shades it out, but it does have incredibly fun exploding seed pods, which of course are the very things that help it get so far and travel so fast. Hang on a second, talking of annoying creatures and objects and plants and wildlife, there's two right there. Wow. Wow.
Cheese.
Say cheese. Ugh. Oh, it's one of them ones that really hurt when they bite you.